Hiya friends, Prepared Suburbanite back with you. Well, it was a very interesting evening. I was awakened at about 3 o'clock this morning with lots of noise and flashing lights and all kinds of weird stuff going on outdoors in front of our house. And I couldn't figure out what it was. I looked in the family room window and I couldn't see anything because there's trees and leaves and stuff in the way. So I went to the front door and opened that up and went out and looked, and there was a very large truck parked there, and it was doing something with lots of flashing lights going on, and I couldn't quite figure out what was going on. But that was at 3 o'clock this morning, and you just can never tell what's going on. I didn't know if it was an emergency vehicle, somebody with maybe a health condition or emergency, with the local EMS crew coming in to check on them or take them to the hospital or whatever. And that's kind of what I saw at 3 o'clock this morning. Well, I got up this morning and took the dog for a walk like we usually do every morning, and there was a huge oak limb that had fallen off the neighbor's big oak tree. It was probably 100-foot tall oak tree in their front lawn, and this one pretty good sized limb crashed down, hit leaves first and flipped over and took out the utility boxes that feed our cul-de-sac here. And we didn't lose any power at that particular point in time, but it got the AT&T box, it got the Duke Energy box, it almost hit the water, the local water resource box, but it really did a job on that Duke Energy electricity box that feeds our neighborhood here. So, but didn't seem like anything was going on. And about 3 o'clock this afternoon, a number of Duke Energy trucks showed up at the neighbor's house, and they had all kinds of stuff going on. They had deep augers to drill, they had chainsaws, they had all kinds of stuff going on. And as the day went on, about 3:30 or 3:45 or so, power went out. And I didn't get any notifications from Duke Energy that said, hey, your power's going out or anything like that. It just went out. And thankfully, we have a generator, a whole house generator that feeds us power. The temperature today, the raw temperature is 101. The feels like temperature is about 110 because the humidity is so high. So if you lose your air conditioning for an hour or so, you're going to get very uncomfortable. Our generator kicked in like it's supposed to and has been running this house for about 3 hours, and we barely even noticed that there was a power outage. Yeah, the electric clocks went out on the stove and on the microwave and on the coffee maker and things like that, but it takes 5 or 6 seconds for that to kick in and tap into our electric power here, and during that 5 or 6 seconds the electronic clocks and things like that, well, I've got our computers all set up with a power bank that allows them to continue to run. Our internet is hooked up to that same kind of a backup power resource, and we didn't even notice that there was a power outage. But about, well, let's see, it's about 5:20 right now. I went out at about 4:30 to check and see what was going on, and took the camera and took some film, and I'll show that to you here, of the crew that's out there working. It hit one of the transformers. This limb that came down off the tree hit one of the transformers, and that feeds this neighborhood, and they had to take that out, replace it, and put in a new one, and they just finished that just before I started filming this video. So I got a little bit of footage of the crew working out there doing whatever they were doing, but that oak tree that sits in front of my neighbor's house has got to be 110 feet, 120 feet tall, and one of the huge limbs just sheared right off and fell down, leaves first, tipped over, and hit the utility box for Duke Energy, and they had to replace the whole box. Well, thankfully, our Generac whole house generator saved us from having to worry about the loss of power, so we can still cook dinner, we can still look at the internet, we can still do all the normal things that we always do, and it's going to be a lifesaver for us. It's 101 degrees raw temperature right now, and the feels like temperature is probably 110 plus right now, so it's pretty darn hot right now. I saw my dog doing the little dance on the concrete as we were going out for our afternoon walk, and she was whoa, 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 whoa. So we stayed in the shade. She was pretty cool about everything, and but I am very thankful that we invested in our Generac whole house generator for this kind of an occasion, and I hope that you've taken the preparedness mind steps to make sure that you've got what you need in case this kind of stuff happens to you. Nothing we could have done to prevent this. The neighbor's tree, I'm going to attribute it to just being a huge, very mature oak tree with a split limb that came off, and it finally, because of the dry conditions around here, it just let loose and down it went. And there's nothing we could have done to prevent it. There's nothing that my neighbors could have done to prevent it, but I think they're going to have to take that big oak tree down, and I'm hoping they do, and I hope I can get a little bit of that those oak logs to cut up for splitting wood and let it age over this winter and into next summer, so that it can be used in our fireplace. So we'll have to see how that goes. I don't know what they're going to do. Haven't talked to the neighbors yet about what their plans are for the oak log that's going to have to come down, but that's what's going on. But I couldn't be more thankful to having a full whole house generator. So the question really is, are you prepared for when something like this, it's minor, it's a tree falling down that knocks out the power. Are you ready to make sure that your refrigerator stays cold, that you can still cook your food on your stove, or do you have to work on alternative kinds of things? It's great to have solar generator backup to keep your refrigerator and your freezers cold. It's great to have alternative sources of power, to have alternative sources for cooking, like your outdoor grills and charcoal grills and things like that. Propane is absolute necessity if you're a prepper. So I would encourage you to take a look at what you've got, where you are, what's going on in your neighborhood, and make sure that you've got the eventualities covered in your preparation plans. This is the Prepared Suburbanite reminding you to be prepared always, and I'll see y'all on the next video.